Hello and welcome to The Reasons I'm Broke. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
And this episode of The Reasons I'm Broke has been brought to you by MegaCon 2014. You can buy your tickets at megaconvention.com.
MegaCon is the largest sci-fi, anime, and comic book convention in Florida. And the dates are running from March 21st through the 23rd.
We've got some exciting products that MegaCon is bringing out, but we'll cover those later on in the podcast right after the news. For any new listeners, the way the format works is we cover news ranging from comic books, video games, and movies, and we finally finish off the podcast with discussing what was on our pull list for this week in regards to comic books, DC, Marvel, and Indie.
First, we're going to jump right into some, television news. Star Wars The Clone Wars final season will debut on Netflix.
I think this is season number 7.
Oh,
this
wow.
This is right before Disney had bought Star Wars, so they couldn't make the show anymore. From what Paul Dini had written a couple of those episodes, but from what I heard, the show was pretty good. I never really saw it. I saw the animated one that was similar to like Samurai Jack.
Wasn't that The Clone Wars?
It was the Clone Wars, but it wasn't in like 3D animation. It was all like 2D. And it was really good. That's the one where General Grievous takes down like 17 Jedi without even thinking. Like he's just taking them all out silently. And when the movie comes out, you see General Grievous is just coughing all the time and just kind of limping around. It's like, this isn't the guy from Clone Wars. What the fuck happened? But the final season, instead of just getting rid of it, they actually worked out a deal with Netflix to put it out on Netflix exclusively.
That's awesome. We may have to check it out then.
And we had been talking about this next movie for weeks. We finally saw it. The Lego Movie.
Amazing!
Okay, first let's talk about the animation, the way it looked.
Amazing!
It kind of looks like stop motion animation, and when they made the movie, they had a mix of the two, CGI and stop motion, and they kind of put them together in what they made. And the whole time, it does look like stop motion, and they said that that was the intent, to make it look not as fluid, because it kind of makes it, I guess not to spoil the movie, but I mean, you're building the figures, right? You're building the story. So that's kind of how it would look if you were playing with the little Lego figures. And when it does use some CGI, it's always just to like pan the camera to a specific scene that you can't normally do through any type of regular stop motion. And they did really well. Like, you see Batman, the best moments are with Batman.
Of course. What
I was worried about was that the movie was only going to give you like maybe 10 minutes of Batman, and that's going to be the marketing. Like, okay, guys, we're going to get Daniel and Kelly to watch this movie, and they're going to tell all their 2 listeners to go see it as well. And when they do, we'll make 4 ticket sales. But what happens is in the movie itself, like 75% of it, there's Batman.
Oh, awesome.
The first 25% he's not there, but the rest of it, he's there and he fucking kicks ass.
It was so cool. That was my favorite part of the movie. Liam Neeson was awesome too. I'm so glad they got him to play the bad cop.
Yeah, at one point, Liam Neeson and Batman end up fighting.
Yes.
So it's like, Ra's al Ghul and Batman are fighting again.
A baby carriage for the baby.
And the whole time, just Batman was always like right. He never made a mistake.
He was kind of an asshole though.
And he was an asshole, so he was like Batman.
To everybody, but like even more of an asshole. Like, he's got a girlfriend in the movie. Am I spoiling things?
Maybe a little bit.
We're just going to spoil the whole movie, guys. Sorry, I liked it so much. And then if you've seen it, now you're excited with us because you're like, yeah, that part was great too. Anyway, he's got a girlfriend, and halfway through he's like, sorry, babe, if we're going to work out, you got to let me go party with random strangers. And he just leaves.
And sometimes he'll just be like, what are you losers doing? He just insults people. And I'm like, yeah, Batman. I know he would insult me too, but that's how it works in the comics. He doesn't really get along with anyone, especially the Justice League. Like, they don't put up with him because he's really the leader. He really makes up the Justice League. But here in the movie, it's just, I don't know, he is kind of a dick. He's kind of like the jock, I guess.
Oh, but it was so funny. Definitely want to see that again. One thing I recommend, too, when you watch it is always watch the backgrounds. That's something I would have to... I really want to see this movie again because I was so busy watching what was going on that I missed everything in the background. And they put some funny stuff, like you have Morgan Freeman, who wasn't God, but I'm going to say he's God, like spinning around in the background at one point.
Yeah.
It was great. Really funny movie.
And a lot of their properties were in there too. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are in there. You have the Go Ninja, Bionicles, yeah.
Oh, Bionicles.
And it didn't feel like they were selling you the products. Like, that's one thing that some critics were saying, like, this is just going to be a giant commercial for Lego. But there's actually a story here, and it's funny, and they actually worked out the comedy. And I never actually felt like, hey, go buy this new set.
But I want to go buy it.
But I do want to. because they did actually make a Lego movie set, so you can get the like pirate guy that
he
has like
was
the giant
so
mechanical.
cool.
When I saw that in the movie, I'm like,
Metal beard?
yeah, I want to build that, and fucking go and do some research. Turns out, of course, they made a set.
That's so awesome. Yeah, the whole movie was great. I want to say it was almost better for adults than for kids. I feel like the message was a very adult message that a lot of people miss.
Mm-hmm. And I'm excited to see the second one because that's already in the works. They greenlit it.
As long as Batman's in it.
Batman has to be
I don't want them to be like, we had Batman in the last one, so let's have more Superman in this one. I'd be like, no.
And they would that would be idiotic if they didn't put Batman in it again because there would go most of their marketing again.
Yeah. So great. On to some video game news. A slim version of the PlayStation Vita will release this spring to North America. It will retail for $200 and come bundled with Borderlands 2 and an 8 GB memory card. The battery life will also be improved on these models.
So this is kind of like the budget model of the Vita, only because the screen is downgraded. But when you actually look at the two screens side by side, it's not that big a difference. It's not going to completely change your gaming experience.
Unless you're a robot, then
Unless
you can tell
you're a
the
robot,
difference.
yeah. So when they downgraded the screen, it was to cut down on the price of the system. So now it's $200, and one of the most anticipated games on the Vita is Borderlands 2. So they're bundling that with the Vita and putting $800 and the memory card, which most people are like, I don't know if I really want it because the memory cards are like $40 to $60. Here's an 8 GB memory card. You're good to go. Good to get started.
That's really smart. It might boost sales. I never really hear anything about the Vita. Maybe because I just don't have one.
The thing about the Vita is there's not enough implementation with what you can do with PlayStation 4 currently or the PlayStation 3. Like you can do some cross-playing, but otherwise it's not enough to really warrant a Vita quite yet. Obviously this will boost sales, and I think this will be kind of like one of the final pushes for the system to really get some sales and get going, especially with something like Borderlands 2, which is huge.
Right.
So, I hope that it does well because there needs to be more options for people in terms of handhelds. And I do want to see people with Vitas get more games on it, but it is something that I'm not looking to get because I already have a 3DS, and even that I'm behind on my games. I don't need to be getting another system.
At least you've beaten Pokemon. I still haven't beaten Pokemon.
And I've played online with Pokemon.
I don't even think I'm close to beating Pokemon. Wait, I'm about to go stop Team Flare. How far am I?
Oh, you're about 2 hours from the ending.
So like 5 weeks.
So 5 weeks away, we're gonna hear 5 episodes from now. Kelly will have finished Pokemon X and Y.
Probably not. Don't get your hopes up, guys.
On to some more video game news. Warner Brothers Montreal, who worked on Arkham Origins, is choosing to prioritize the Arkham Origins upcoming story DLC over remaining bugs from the game. On the official Arkham Origins forum, they stated, "If we do move forward with creating a new patch, it will try to address the progression of blocking bugs for players, not the minor glitches that do not prevent one from continuing to play." Now, this has been an interesting point of debate because on one hand, you have players that are still running into glitches, not game-breaking glitches, but glitches that are affecting, like, okay, now I have to restart my save file or whatever. And on the other hand, though, sales have kind of slowed down on this game. People are starting to trade it in or sell it or get rid of it. So they want to try to push that story DLC out to kind of satisfy the players that got the season pass. Like, okay, so I got all my costumes, and we've been waiting on this Mr. Freeze story pack for quite some time. So it's kind of like, where do they want to prioritize their team? Because they can't just hire more people. you have to have a budget for this
Right.
thing. So
I feel like the glitches should have been something they should have fixed in the beginning when they found out about it.
we did talk about this too, though, because if they pushed it, they would have missed that holiday season push. So you either fix the glitches or you get the sales that you can get. Because if they released it now, I don't think...
Well, no, but they could have made a patch for it.
Well, that's what they're working on. That's what they did eventually. They brought out that patch that fixed that falling glitch.
Still glitches.
Oh, yeah, there are still. I personally think they should focus on that story DLC because, again, most players have gotten rid of the game, or others like me are just waiting for the new DLC to come out and then, move on to something else.
Can we just get Kevin Conroy back?
Oh, he's coming back. He accidentally again let
Again?
it. Yeah.
It's not an accident anymore. He's not senile. He knows what he's doing. Oh, you didn't want me to be Batman? Now what?
No, but I guess he accidentally again said that there's another Arkham game that he's working on. And,
Oh, Conroy, you're such a smart man. He knows what he's doing.
So I hope they paid him more.
I'm
We
sure
paid you
they
more
did.
and you're leaking our game early? Yes.
He's like, no, I'm promoting you for free. And they're like, oh, this is because how excited are you now?
Once that comes out, I'm getting a PS4.
Well, okay, see? There we go.
Done.
Unless Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out first, then we're getting a PS4.
Well, Batman's more important than Kingdom Hearts, to be honest.
A little bit, but only because he's hotter than like those 15-year-olds in Kingdom Hearts. That's pedophilia, Danny.
Yeah, it is. You shouldn't talk about that. So, WB Montreal, that's going on. They're probably working on the Arkham game after that, because I hear the plan now is to try to bring out a Batman game every year. Just switch up the development team.
What is this? Like sports games?
It's like Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed.
Yeah. What are we doing?
They see they can make money every year from assholes like me that'll buy it. That'll just fucking buy it every year, too. So that's what's going on here.
On to some more great Batman news. I think this is what we've been most excited for this week. At the New York Toy Fair, DC Collectibles revealed their new figures and statues for 2014. Here are some of our favorites.
Let me just say that I think our podcast will end this year because when we buy these, I won't be able to afford like the monthly thing to put up the podcast every month. Because it's just outcost with this, by the way, guys. It's not like I'm making money to help with the subscription or whatever the hell. Once these come out, I'm going to buy multiples of these, and you're going to see why. So we're going to start with the first one. Now, we're going to start with the less exciting ones, but still great ones. So we're not going to cover all of them. These are just the ones that most interested us. There's an upcoming animated movie called Son of Batman, and that is based on the Damian Wayne storyline in the background, but it's changed a little bit, actually, because Deathstroke kills Ra's al Ghul. Damian wants to get revenge because Deathstroke murdered his grandfather. Batman says, no, we do not do that. We don't murder. Well, there's going to be some action figures coming out based on these designs, and the ones that got revealed are Deathstroke, Damian, Batman, and Nightwing, aka Robin.
AKA Robin. Definitely Damian Batman. Sold. Done.
Yeah, little Damian. Big head.
We also have some new 52 action figures coming out. They've revealed Batgirl, Supergirl, and Nightwing. So, all the girls of the new 52.
Good job, Robin. He's getting all kinds of exposure. Mm-hmm. They looked alright. I think the Batgirl one was my favorite, just because we like the character so much. The Infinite Crisis 6-inch Harley Quinn pajama party figure.
That was kind of really cute.
Yeah.
She's in her pajamas with a big hammer and, I don't know, more things.
Yeah, on the back of her, like, she has that butt flap that's open, and she has, like, Batman underwear underneath.
So great. I have to think about that one, though, because we still have a lot of other great stuff that we're going to get.
Yeah, that's true.
We also have another Batman Black and White coming out. This is Zombie Batman as designed by Neil Adams.
If you remember, we covered this story, I want to say like 2 months ago.
Yeah, I think so.
2 months ago is in part of the Batman Black and White miniseries that has been coming out. There's a story in there which Batman is he's having a dream, and in the story Batman is running into these people that he actually cannot help. People whose houses are being foreclosed on, or a guy that had an ounce of marijuana, and that was his third offense, so he's in jail for years now. And every time he comes into these people, he turns into like zombie Batman again, because he's useless. But then when it comes to like kicking ass, he turns into regular Batman and does his thing. But then once again, he runs into the next person that says, I lost my job, and he's just like, I'm sorry, I can't. And he turns into zombie Batman again. The whole story is, at the very end, Bruce Wayne wakes up and he realizes that these are the people that also need help, and he realizes that he can help these people as Bruce Wayne, maybe not as Batman, but definitely as Bruce Wayne. So he kind of wakes up and goes and does that the very next day. Like, he starts actually helping those people that actually maybe need more help than just your average robber.
That was a great story, but yes, this is a beautiful black and white. Are we going to pick this one up?
I'm really debating it. I really like that story, and I think the statue looks... I'm not big on zombies. I don't like The Walking Dead. But this statue, just because it reminds me so much of it, and it's based on Neil Adams' design, I might have to. Now we're getting into some of the better stuff, like the really good stuff here. There's a Superman statue coming out. There's one based on Superman, the animated series. This got me excited because this means maybe they're going to start making some Batman, the animated series statues.
We may have to pick this one up, too. We do like the Superman animated series.
Yeah, we do. We'll put him next to Batman.
Yeah, and he can be... No, we should, like, construct a little bush out of cotton balls and have him peeking through it. At Batman, like, there he is.
That reminds me. We did have kind of a question about Superman. Well, first off, Superman Loves Batman theme song.
I can lift you up,
since we are recording this on Valentine's Day week, what would Superman get Batman for Valentine's Day?
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot. Well, he already has his undying love, so he can't give him that. He'd probably like try to set up a romantic dinner, but pretend it's just like a bro night. And the Batman would be like, no, I have better things to do. And then you just see Superman sitting by himself at the table, box of chocolates, and...
Superman, like, really big, little tiny table, real sad, slouched over. See, my answer would be Superman would just get him anything that Batman would accept, because that, on its own, is like a win. Like, if you... something coming from Superman to Batman, Batman really doesn't want it.
Would Batman accept anything from Superman? Really?
He accepted that kryptonite bullet.
Well,
in Justice League Doom.
That's a little bit different.
Like, that was the ultimate win for Superman. Like, they're engaged at this point, in his mind. In his mind, they are engaged.
That's how it is on Krypton. You accept a kryptonite bullet and you're engaged.
I studied Krypton. That never happened. Well, weren't you a baby?
Thank you. He doesn't even remember Krypton. Next, we also have some Greg Capullo action figures. There's going to be a Catwoman, Mr. Freeze, Red Hood, and Thrasher Armor Batman.
Two of these, I think I definitely have to get. Can you guess which two?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Mr. Freeze and Thrasher Armor Batman.
Yeah.
See? I know you. Now what?
Even though I don't like New 52 Mr. Freeze that much, and I especially don't like his design, it's a cool fucking figure. Like, if you actually look at it, I'm like, oh, this is probably one of the better Mr. Freeze figures they've ever come out with. And Thrasher Armor Batman, I'll probably keep his helmet on, because if you look at the picture... from the DC Comics, the Bruce Wayne underneath, based on Greg Capullo's design, it does not translate well into action figure. And the same goes with Catwoman. It looks just terrible. But the armored Batman looks great. It'll make a great like piece to put up somewhere. This one, Paul Dini, if you're listening, I know you're excited for. The DC Comics Bombshell Zatanna statue.
Yes.
It's the next one in the line of bombshells based on the women of DC Comics.
When are we going to have Bombshell Nightwing?
Bombshell Nightwing, just his butt sticking out like
He should be in like a circus costume. I don't know.
Yeah, I should. Doing like some twirl.
Or the women's trapeze artist, where it's just like the leotard, lots of leg,
some roses being thrown at him.
Is he Tuxedo Mask now?
He'd make a good one. So I know Paul Dini's probably going to buy like 3 of those. He loves Zatanna.
One for every room in the house.
Okay, who do you like? What do you like more? These last two.
No, I get to say this next one because I like it more than you do.
Perfect, because I wanted to say the last one.
Okay, no, wait, now I want to say the last one. So, next thing I am most excited for ever. I found it on Facebook and I sent it to you and I was so excited. Batman, Little Gotham action figures! I'm buying them all twice.
Yeah, I think we are going to order a couple of them.
All of them twice. Don't even say a couple. All of them twice. A couple of each.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, sure. We have Batman and Damian and Harley Quinn and the Joker. They could be a big happy family.
And when they come out with Series 2 of Batman Little Gotham with Talia and Ra's al Ghul, we can put Batman, Damian... Yeah, we'll put Catwoman with Harley and Joker.
No, she's going to chill with Batman. They're going to be making out in the other room.
No, it's going to be Batman...
You know what? Whose toys are these? These are my toys.
Well, that's why we're getting a couple, because I can get the other ones and put Batman and Damian.
Those get to stay in their packages.
And Talia and Ra's.
Those get to stay in their packages. I need ones I can take out and play with, and ones that stay in their packages.
The Wayne and Al Ghul family.
No, they stay in there. Oh, the Wayne. So Catwoman's part of the Wayne family. Okay.
She's not a part of the Wayne family.
She's part of the Wayne family.
As we soon find out with the comics later today.
Anyway, these figures look great. It looks exactly like it stepped off the pages of Dustin Nguyen's art. Mm-hmm. And they're adorable, and you got little stocky Batman, and Harley's so cute, and she comes with the little guys. Yeah,
little figures, like a little Joker and a little hyena.
Yes, her little hyenas. That's what I'm thinking of. Ah, so excited.
If you had told me that they were going to come out with figures based on Little Gotham, I would have been like, how would they do that? The designs are so, like, hard to, first off, the figures would be hard to stand because they've got the little legs and the giant heads, but... They made it work. If you actually look at it, even the coloring, it almost looks like a watercolor figure
it's
somehow.
Great. They're beautiful.
All right, here's the best of all of these. Batman the Animated Series action figures. They showed Batman and Catwoman, but they also announced Two-Face and Mr. Freeze.
Are you sure you want the other Mr. Freeze? New 52?
Well, if it's between these two, I definitely go with the animated series one. They haven't shown this one yet, though, but I'm sure it looks. It's
Oh,
probably
I'm
going to be
sure.
season 4, Mr. Freeze, which is still fine. But the only thing about these figures is they went with season 4 Batman instead of the Batman the animated series Batman, the one
Right.
that's based more on Space Ghost. But it's still a really good looking figure. It looks exactly like Bruce Timm's design, and with if you look at the figures back when we were growing up and the quality of them now, it's astounding. Like it's like how did when you're little you just play with them and in your imagination, but if you were to give a kid like which one of these two would you want, and they'd obviously choose the newer, better colored ones, more articulation, and this is no exception. It just looks amazing.
The Catwoman, though, is season 1 through 3.
It is.
Which made me
The
really
better
happy.
costume, yeah.
Yep, that's a much better costume. In season 4, the women got like really, really unnaturally skinny, and ugh.
Yeah, I think Harley's the only one that stayed somewhat the same because Bruce Timm created her, so he's like, my designs are perfect.
That's why I redesigned them all.
And I hope it's the Two-Face from season 1 through 3 as well, with the blue half face
He
and
was
like
so
the
cool.
pimples and stuff. And I think the season 4 one was I don't know, it was kind of weird looking.
I don't even remember season 4. Probably blocked it from my mind.
There you go, that unmemorable. So I'm getting multiples of that Batman the Animated Series.
Well,
it's
yeah,
ridiculous.
we're gonna be so broke.
And then Low Gotham, of course.
This has been a great last episode, guys.
We need to stop and start saving up right now. I'm selling a bunch of PS3 games if you want them.
Not my Dead Space. You can sell...
I'm selling a custom sketch of Buzz Lightyear as drawn by Kelly. It's going to be on the cover of Swamp Thing, the blank cover of Swamp Thing, because it's the only one I have. It'll be Buzz Lightyear fighting Swamp Thing.
I can't draw Swamp Thing.
Starting bid, $50.
You're crazy. Nobody wants that. Have you not seen how I can draw?
So that'll be the question of the week, actually. If you Google DC Collectibles New York Toy Fair 2014, and you see everything they announced, Son of Batman action figures, New 52 action figures, Infinite Crisis, Lil Gotham, Batman the Animated Series, if you have to pick one of these to get, which one would it be, or which one are you most excited for?
Little Gotham.
We'll share the answers next week on the reasons I'm broke. Hear what the Brokettes have to say.
And in answer to our question of last week, are movie trailers too long? We got a few answers. First up, at Dark Knight Drew said, only the bad ones.
It's true.
That's a good answer.
Because when you're sitting there, and we talked about this last week, how if you're sitting there and you're like, oh, this movie looks like shit, and it's just the trailer keeps going, and you're just waiting for the next movie to start. If you cut it down to 2 minutes, oh, there you go, less suffering.
But then if you have a really good one, like the Lego movie...
Well, then you get super excited.
Wouldn't that have been better with a 5-minute trailer?
Well, I don't want to see all the best parts either.
With Batman's song in there?
Yeah, I'm glad that wasn't in the trailers. Because it was so funny when I was watching it.
So great.
Next answer is from @geek_omnivore. Yes, movie trailers are too long. I shouldn't feel like I've seen the full movie after the trailer. That's what the association was saying, that they feel like they're giving out too much plot in the actual trailers.
Except for Taken on a Plane.
That's because that's the movie right there.
That's all you need to know. And finally, Jim from Facebook said, I never show up on time, so I would say they're perfect. Start going to your movies earlier.
See, any longer, and now he's sitting through trailers, but any shorter, and he's missing the movie. So, he's hit that perfect balance. Good job, Jim. And before we jump into comics this week, we are going to talk about MegaCon 2014. It's March 21st through the 23rd. We're almost exactly a month away from MegaCon.
Exciting!
You can get your tickets at megaconvention.com.
You can also, while you're on the site, pick up this year's MegaCon shirt. It is designed by Mike Perkins, who previously worked on Captain America. It has the MegaCon alligator wearing Batman's cape and cowl. And again, you can purchase this in advance through megaconvention.com. It's $20 pre-purchase and $25 if you purchase at the convention.
I'm going to get this year's. I think they sold out when we were there last year, right? We didn't get it.
I don't remember.
I think they have sold out of the medium size. But this year's, it's a fucking alligator as Batman. Why not? And Mike Perkins, we read, or at least I read a lot of his Captain America stuff, the Winter Soldier, all that. And it was good stuff when we met him. He was really nice.
He was a really nice guy. He drew the little shield on my comic book because I was a pretty lady. Sorry.
Here's my crappy shield. Here you go.
I was like, oh, Thanks, Mike. Did you get a shield on your comic book?
I did not get a shield.
Exactly.
He just signed his name.
I was a pretty lady.
Because you were a pretty lady. I think you should get all the comics signed this.
I probably should.
They'll try extra hard. Also, one of the panels that is going on at MegaCon, on Friday, March 21st, join Dan Jurgens, Jamie Palmiotti, Ethan Van Sciver, Rob Hunter, and David Finch in a discussion about comics at DC.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
We'll definitely be there. It'll run from 3:20 to 4:10 in room S310AB.
Why'd you tell people about this? Now there'll be more people there.
Well, because we're going to be there super early.
Okay, like the convention opens at 1 and we're already sitting in there?
Hello, David Finch. How are you doing? So what are we going to talk about? Dan, why are you up here with us?
Well,
because I'm here first. I want the best seat.
I'm here to talk about DC Comics.
I thought isn't that what a panel's about? Come on, let's get started.
And with that, we actually will move into our comics. First up, we have a great little story. I think we talked about it last week. It's called Bill the Boy Wonder, written by Mark Nobleman with art by Ty Templeton.
Love Ty Templeton. That guy can draw Batman, the animated series, exactly like the cartoon. That's where we were first exposed to him. We were catching up on all of our Batman Adventures comics, including when we finally found Batman Mad Love. And as we're catching up to them, we're like, holy shit, this art is amazing. And we started paying attention to who was drawing them, and it's Ty Templeton. He just kept popping up. He was actually writing some of these stories. One of the best ones was when he's fighting Ra's al Ghul, and he arrests Ra's, and I'm like, he never arrests Ra's. How did this happen? And it was a really good story.
Yeah, he's got some great ones.
And we follow Ty Templeton on Facebook, on Twitter. We check out his blog. The Buntoons are great. And this Bill the Boy Wonder book came out a couple of years ago, but now they're actually starting to work on a film, a documentary about Bill the Boy Wonder. Now, Bill Finger was the guy that mainly contributed to the creation of Batman, including the iconic cape and cowl with the bat horns on it.
And Bob Kane was just an asshole.
He pretty much took all the credit for it. Until after, years later, when Bill died, he was like, I should have given him more credit.
This was a really good story, though. I was very impressed. It's kind of written like a kid's story. Almost very small blurbs on each page with a whole lot of art. Of course, like we said, Ty Templeton's art is great, so it was a very fun read for me, and at the same time, I got very angry. I'm like, no, this man deserves justice. Bring him back from the dead so he can know.
Where's the nearest Lazarus pit? Well, now they're starting to work on this documentary. There's a Kickstarter out, and you can actually contribute to it, and you can, I think it's $10, and you get the documentary.
That's awesome.
They'll send it to you as a download. And it's almost hit its goal. It's almost there, but there are some great perks to this. If you check out the Kickstarter, the name escapes me right now. I think it's called like Capes and Cowls. If you just search Bill Finger Kickstarter on Google, it'll pop up. So definitely support it. The book itself, like I mentioned, came out I think in 2011. And like you said, it is in format for kids. You can actually take this and put it out in elementary schools. And kids will enjoy the big drawings by Ty Templeton. At the same time, though, they'll start learning about the history and origin of the Batman.
It was really good. Definitely recommend it.
And continuing with our indie books, The Accelerators number 5 of 6, written by Ronnie Porto and art by Gavin Smith.
This story's getting weird.
Yeah, there's only one issue left, and this one, I think this is the point in which the writer got a little inconsistent with the pacing. Like he's starting to jump everywhere, and I guess he wants to wrap it up, sort of, but he's doing it in a way that the characters are now getting out of their established characters. Like, okay, so this is what this guy was supposed to be, so we're reading along, and suddenly they do something completely different and talk differently
now
in this
he's a
issue.
robot!
It's like, come on. Stay consistent with your characters. I know you're on a deadline, but try to stay as consistent as you can.
I don't know how they're going to wrap this up in one issue.
It'll probably end on a to be continued thing.
Oh, that sucks.
Or they'll go back in time and just fix everything.
I will say it was a great idea. I don't feel that it's lived up to what they wanted it to
It's going to be my pass of the week.
Really? Might be mine too. Let's keep reading. Next is She-Hulk number 1. It's written by Charles Soule with art by Javier Pulido. I really like this book. You kind of picked it up on a whim, and it's amazing.
Like I kept hearing, it's a lawyer book written by a lawyer. I'm like, oh, this sounds really cool. This sounds really good. And then I saw the preview of it in one of the Marvel previews that had come out, I think, last month. It's just the drawings, and you don't get the story, but it's kind of like, okay, so this is what the layout's going to be like, and you can check out the art, and that kind of intrigued me when it finally came out. I picked it up and I really enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed it. Well, it was a great, entertaining story, but very serious. And I'm like, I believe all these lawyer things because it's written by a lawyer.
I was like, Kelli will like this. It's a strong woman in a strong
Stop!
position.
You mean so Gail will like it?
So something for the women, something for Kelli. Oh, this is good for her. This is good. Here you go.
Oh, so I should get you baby books? And be like,
No.
oh, good for Danny. He can read these baby books.
Here's this Ty Templeton book. Big pictures.
Robin learns his ABCs.
I don't like Robin. I like Damien.
Robin learns to put on makeup.
Well, that
Robin
is
has
Robin.
his period.
Good job, Dick Grayson. So She-Hulk #1, it's the whole story is contained in this one issue, which I liked. It's a $2.99 book. She-Hulk's trying to get some money for a client that sort of hires her but doesn't. And she's kind of like, okay, well, I know Tony Stark. I can probably settle this case easily for you. It's shitty what he did. All right. Keeps trying to talk to Tony and comes into all these problems. The lawyer that is there to kind of settle the cases for him, to not bother him. And then like the robots that are there to stop villains when she finally gets upset and just wants to go up to the top floor to talk to Tony. I thought it was a funny book. I was actually laughing at this.
It was great. I really liked what they did with Tony's character, too. Because even when she barges in there, he's like, oh, you look good. I'm like, whoa, Tony, she's going to beat the shit out of you. Calm down.
You're not Batman.
But
Calm down.
it was great because even this case that she's solving, it raises a lot of questions. So I'm hoping they take that somewhere. Because, yeah, she got money for this lady, but that lady's husband was kind of an asshole. And, yeah, she deserved the money, but he was still kind of a villain. So where's this all going to go? She teaches Tony some new things, so we'll see where he goes with that as well.
And at the end of it, she establishes her own firm. So I'm assuming this book is going to be kind of like her taking different cases, and we're going to see how she solves it and moving on. And as she does these, she's going to run into the various characters in the Marvel Universe. So I'm really excited. It is one of the better debuts from Marvel that we've personally read. We don't read a ton of Marvel, but this is definitely something that we're going to pick up and start adding to our subscription. The other one that's coming up too is going to be The Silver Surfer, which I really want to read.
Dougie Jones!
Pretty much Doug Jones. And then Superior Spider-Man, when that ends, we'll have a little bit more money to start picking up Silver Surfer and She-Hulk. Speaking of Superior Spider-Man, that's the next book, number 27, written by Dan Slott, art by Giuseppe Camuncoli.
Peter Parker is coming back.
This is another starting point, because Goblin Nation begins here with number 27, so you can jump on if you want to start to read Superior Spider-Man. This is, I think, one of the two last arcs that they're ending with. And we see why, or how Peter Parker has been avoiding Dan Slott, Doc Ock this whole time, by hiding in Doc Ock's memories, is from what I'm seeing. Like any confrontation between Doc Ock and Spider-Man, he's been staying there, because Doc Ock's been accessing every other memory, because he already knows their history, and the more embarrassing defeats, he's not going to go back there. Instead, he's going to access the memories in which Peter Parker was going up against Green Goblin, for example. And this, probably the best moment in this book, was when Doc Ock is interacting with the Green Goblin, and Green Goblin's like, I really don't want to hurt you at all. I think we've never really been enemies. And that's how Doc Ock knows that, okay, he knows who I am. But he still wants to be Spider-Man. He still wants to be a hero, so he goes against the Green Goblin.
Yeah, it's great. Some shit's going to go down in the next one. This one ends with a whole lot of explosions. And Peter Parker becomes Doc Ock.
Yeah, he goes into it. That was kind of weird. It's kind of like...
See, I think that's how he's going to get out, though, because he's going to live through Doc Ock's whole life and then come back into himself.
Yeah.
That's weird paradox.
Pseudo-science-y thing.
Weird. Overall, I think it was good, though. I still don't think it's as strong as it was when it first began. But not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's ending, it's winding down, so it's like, you feel that as well as you read.
Right. Now we're going to move into DC. We have Batgirl number 28, written by the wonderful Gail Simone, with art by Fernando Parison and Jonathan Galipian.
Batgirl number 28 has a character that Kelli cosplayed as in last year's MegaCon.
Yeah, Strix.
Strix is back. I'm going to go ahead and say that she's only back because you met Gail Simone last year, and you told her how much you liked Strix.
Yeah, that's why
and she was back. Like, you know what? I'm going to put Strix in a Batgirl comic just for this Kelli girl.
She remembers like a whole year later.
They're writing these... Like, right now, their stories they're writing are probably like 6 to 8 months ahead.
Well, that's still... this has been a year. So she waited 6 months and then she wrote this?
Yeah.
No, Dan.
To be fair, she was actually excited, though, to meet you. That was awesome.
It was so cool.
Yeah, that was
fun. That
fun.
was a great cosplay.
So Strix I know you like the character a lot. Does that continue in number 28? Do you feel like they built upon her?
I do. We haven't been following her in Birds of Prey because we just have too much coming out every month. Mm-hmm. But I still love her character. For those of you who don't know, she is a former Court of Owls member, and she's mute. And in this story, she hears about a little girl who has been kidnapped from the hospital who is also a mute. So she wants Batgirl to help her find this little girl because it's so close to her heart because she's been through the same thing.
And she trusts Batgirl so much. If you read the Batgirl Annual, number 1, you'll know exactly why. And I felt that was the most touching is when Batgirl is interacting with Strix and actually talking to her like she's a little girl herself because really she is. Mm. I mean, she was brought up with the court and it's really kind of heartbreaking to see how this is how she has to speak to her, but at the same time, she's like this murdering machine, who Strix is. So I thought that was the best part of the comic.
Mm-hmm. It was a great comic. We get to see, is he a new villain?
I think so. Silver.
He's kind of on par with the Sewer King, I think.
You're all vampires.
Even though I look like a vampire.
I like how Batgirl was like, call us when we start sparkling. Like, he's not important.
So funny.
He pretty much sees all these characters as vampires, so he wants to kill them because he thinks he's like this vampire hunter. He's just a crazy guy.
He's Buffy.
Okay, Buffy, go fuck off somewhere right now. I'm going to go solve this thing with Strix. So that's what we'll call him, Buffy. Okay. Not Silver, Buffy.
Buffy. But yeah, no, it was a really great comic. Definitely pick it up, guys.
Next is Batman number 28, written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV, art by Dustin Nguyen and Derek Friedolfs. It's like a Dustin, yeah.
Love Dustin.
This was a great issue. I really liked it, especially.
You know what? I liked it too, Dan.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So we both liked it.
Why'd you like it, Dan?
Why did I like it? Let's see. One, you see who Harper Row becomes.
Yes, that was pretty cool.
We were off. It's not Robin. But it's something similar. It's like a new character, and we'll talk about that near the end of this. But I liked it. One, because of Dustin Nguyen art. Mm-hmm. Two, because Catwoman is a bad guy, and Batman needs to stop her. And it's Batman against Catwoman.
No, see, I didn't see it that way.
How'd you see it?
I saw it as, Catwoman's a bad guy now. But she kept saying to Batman all he needed to do was ask. As soon as he asked for something, she's like, yeah, here you go. No more fighting.
Why is she making things difficult for Batman? Why is she putting the whip around his neck?
Because that's what he likes.
That's not what he likes.
That's probably what he likes.
That's not what he likes.
I'm sure that's
Batman
what he likes.
is the dominating one. He would not get dominated.
When it comes to Catwoman.
No. Catwoman was having what you would call a diva moment, and Batman needed to put her in her place.
They are in love. That's all there is to it. They're in love.
So anyway...
It's a lover's quarrel. And, no, wait, but did you not see, she said she became that way because he made her that way. So he did something that we don't know about yet that pushed her away enough that she would do this.
Batman does not need this drama. He's got that with Superman already. Always acting up.
Yeah, but he actually loves Catwoman.
He actually loves Talia.
You should probably, just stop now before you get no lunch today.
So Batman number 28, I guess we can spoil real quick who Harper Row really is, because we still don't know how she got there. Harper Row is Bluebird, and we initially thought it was Nightwing because it's exactly a Nightwing design, and I would like it if eventually, maybe they call her Nightwing, but if not, I still like that she is the next member of the Bat family.
I don't think it's bad that they made her Bluebird, though, as opposed to Nightwing, because I don't feel that Batman created Nightwing. Robin created Nightwing.
And that's why he's still Robin.
Well, yes. So, okay, Batman created a Robin, so he can always replace that Robin. He didn't create Nightwing, so he can't replace that Nightwing. So he just created a Bluebird.
Yeah, well, it's a good character. And Scott Snyder said that they could have easily made her Robin. They could have easily made her Nightwing. But he feels like at the year of Batman's 75th anniversary, Batman needs to have newer villains and newer characters that come around. So he wanted Bluebird to be one of those new characters and villains that they create. This was just a big advertisement for Batman Eternal, is what I felt like. Mm-hmm. But that wasn't a bad thing. It did make me want to read Batman Eternal. We still won't pick it up every week, but we will pick up a couple of issues here and there. And I felt like this was a good look into the future of the Batman universe as it builds in the next 5 years or so.
No, Dan, you don't get to talk about this one.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
Because it's my pick of the week.
No, why? Yay! Next is Batman Little Gotham, number 11. Written by Dustin Nguyen and Derek Friedholz, with art by Dustin Nguyen.
So the first part of the story is a zombie story, which was great.
Batman goes to visit Talia and Ra's al Ghul, and Danny thinks they're in love, and then it's like they're one big family, but they're not. Batman's just making sure that Damian doesn't get corrupted.
That's not true.
It is true.
It's shared custody
He does
time.
not. Do you not remember what Paul Dini said on his podcast about who Batman loves?
Who do you like more, Paul Dini or Dustin Nguyen? Because Dustin Nguyen wrote this.
Yeah, and okay, I'm going to Facebook Dustin Nguyen today, and we'll see what he says.
And we may or may not talk about it next week, depending on his response.
And we will definitely talk about it next week.
Little Gotham. So he talks to Ra's like he's his what do they call it, father-in-law. So they're talking like how's the Empire, and Ra's is like, oh, I've put that aside for now, and like it's just small talk. I love it. And while they're having dinner, zombies come out because of the Lazarus
pit is under the cemetery. That was poor planning.
It was really funny. So they're fighting zombies, and Ra's is just like, League of Assassins, get them. And
so it's ninjas versus zombies.
Yeah. And I thought that was really funny, and it was a really good story. I enjoyed it.
It was cute. Dustin Nguyen always does a good job. But Batman's still in love with Catwoman.
No, with Talia.
With Catwoman.
So the next story, the second one.
You must not want to eat dinner.
The second part of Little Gotham number 11.
Second part of Little Gotham number 11 is a Clock King story. And I really enjoyed this one, too. We haven't seen a lot of Clock King since the animated series, but I felt that his background in there was great. What made him become the Clock King was really funny, really interesting to me. But in this one, he's going to stop time, and he's going to be the only one running around, which would probably be a really boring life, but whatever, do what you want, Clock King. So Batman from the future knows about it, and sends Flash back in time to tell past Batman how to stop it, and then all the Batmans come together from all the universes to stop Clock King.
Never stood a chance, Clock King.
No, you got all these Batmans.
And the funny thing is the silliest of the Batman is the one that actually stops Clock King accidentally by throwing a banana peel.
Oh, yeah, the fruit Batman.
So that was great, and I agree, there should be more Clock King, like use him as much as possible. Why make like the definitive Clock King story? You can do it, the character's right there. Make him better. If you don't like the Clock King, write a good Clock King story. Yeah. And you do see that with Dustin Nguyen here.
I'm so sad this series is ending because it's been a great run. They're really light stories, and especially when we were going through all the Damian passing away. Oh, that was another thing. The very first line in the story almost made me cry.
With Alfred and Damian?
Yes, Damian falls asleep watching zombie movies all night, and Alfred says something to the fact that, that'll tire you out. Rest in peace, Damian. And I went, no, because he's dead.
And it's Alfred. So my pick of the week, Little Gotham number 11.
It's probably my pick of the week, too. But he's not in love with Talia, so that should be our Twitter question of the week.
The final issue is Justice League of America number 12. It's a Forever Evil tie-in, written by Matt Kindt, art by Eddie Barrows and Eber Ferreira.
We get to see more of Stargirl in this one. I'm really liking her background. I like how the pacing of the story, where it's a lot of her inner dialogue, inner monologue, how she's trying to work through everything. Does she save her family who she's let down before and she's buried all these memories, or does she do what's better for everyone and save the world? You get, oh, poor John Jones.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with John Jones.
I don't know, but you get a great story from him, which, she's beginning to understand. I don't really want to spoil any of this because it was a really great issue. I loved the dynamic between these two characters, and now I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm like, is Martian Manhunter okay? Kelli, is he okay?
And I'm just like, shh, Danny.
Batman will save the day. It's okay.
Batman always saves the day. But no, I really like what they did with Stargirl.
Yeah, I think she's becoming... you got to develop the character, and I felt like Matt Kindt really did that with these Forever Evil tie-ins. Like, they haven't really been advancing the Justice League of America, one, because it is ending, and it's going to turn into the Justice League United. With Stargirl, if she's going to be one of the main characters for Justice League United, one of the superheroes we're going to center on, then you should take this opportunity to be like, okay, so we can't really change anything because Forever Evil is going on, but let's explore these two characters. And if you're going to do that, it's best to do it with the Martian Manhunter as like your kind of vehicle into Stargirl's mind.
And with that, I think that'll do it for our comics this week. Just to summarize, our passes of the week were The Accelerators, I think we actually agreed on that one. The Accelerators number 5.
Yeah.
And our pick of the week was Batman Little Gotham number 11. We need to stop agreeing on things. This makes for poor podcasts.
Yeah, it feels weird. Jumping on points, She-Hulk number 1, Superior Spider-Man number 27, Batgirl number 28 as well, if you want to jump onto any of those series.
But with that, I think we'll sign off. Don't forget, MegaCon 2014 is like a month away. So definitely jump on there, pick up your tickets from megaconvention.com. If you buy in advance, you save about $10.
Yeah, we'll be there.
10 more bucks to get some signatures and buy lots of merchandise. There will be everything that you want.
Yeah, go ahead and also find us on Twitter at Reasons I'm Broke. Let us know what made you broke this week. And also our question of the week from the DC Comics, DC Collectibles that were revealed in New York for 2014 at the Toy Fair. Which one are you most excited for?
And then send us money so we can buy that one for ourselves. You don't really need it.
Yeah, Swamp Thing Buzz Lightyear drawing coming your way.
I'll do it too.
Also on Facebook, if you search The Reasons I'm Broke, like us on Facebook, you can find more pictures and more questions of the week on there.
Don't pay attention to the banner. It's a bad one. I don't know how that got up there.
It's a great banner.
It's a horrible banner.
It's a great love story.
No, terrible. If you listen to us on iTunes, you search The Reasons I'm Broke, please leave a comment or a rating. It helps other people find us.
Also, you can download the brand new Stitcher app. We're finally up on Stitcher. You can download our latest episodes on there, so you can have the Reasons I'm Broke podcast on the go.
And lastly, on YouTube, we post the podcast as well as unboxings. Most recent one we had was a Harley Quinn bombshell, which was a beautiful, beautiful statue. But, of course, as soon as we get all these figures for 2014, they'll be up there as well.
Yeah, thank you for listening, Brokettes. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Kelly.
See you next week.